Namaste everyone, I am Gyan and you are learning Computer Science with Python for class 11th. In this video, we will learn the chapter 2 of the syllabus, that is data representation. Data representation. Before we learn about data representation, let's talk what is quantity. What is quantity? Quantity is measurement of something. Measurement of something. For example, 5 meter. Here 5 is the quantity, okay, and this is the meter. For example, 5 liter. So here 5 is the quantity. The numeral amount which you use to measure something is called quantity. So here in this case, 5 is the numeral amount of volume. We have 5 liter. We have 10 kg. So 10 is the numeral amount of mass. So all these numeral amounts are called quantities. Quantity is measurement of something. But how you express quantity? You can write here quantities can be expressed using number systems. Number systems. At this time, you may not know about what the number system is, but at least you know that the quantities can be expressed using numbers. Okay, because 5 is the number representing quantity, 5 is the number representing quantity, 10 is the number representing quantity. So you know that quantities can be expressed using numbers. Okay, we will see in a while what the number system is. But before we learn the number system, let's talk about something which is very basic, that how you actually do counting. That means how you actually count numbers. The problem is seem to be very basic, that how you count numbers, but believe me, this is going to be most fundamental topic of the number system. So our question is how you count numbers. How you count numbers. In other words, you can say that how you perform counting. So these are two questions and the both questions are same. You know how to perform counting. Of course, it's obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is called counting. What is interesting in it? So here, let's focus on something, some very basic fundamental of counting, which you do, but you do it unconsciously. So let's focus on some points which are actually very important to notice. The first point to notice here is how many symbols you have for counting. How many symbols you have for counting. Tell me how many total symbols you have for counting. You have total of 10 symbols for counting. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Total 10 symbols. So you have total 10 symbols for counting. Very good. The second question is how you count. How you count. Now listen to me carefully. You start counting with 0 and you write all the symbols. You write all the symbols. 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Then after when you finish all the symbols, then you start repeating the symbols. You start repeating like this: 1 0, 1 1, 1 2. That means you rewrite all the numbers, but at this time, these all symbols, these all numbers are followed by 1, 1 5, 1 6, 1 7, 1 8 and 1 9. When you finish writing all the numbers followed by 1, then you write the same numbers followed by 2 this time. Okay, then you write 2 0, 2 1, 2 2, and this is how you go up to 29. Then you start with 30, you go up to 39, then you start with 40 and you go up to 49, something like this. After few countings, you reach to 90, then you go up to 99. When you reach to 99, then actually you have exhausted all two-digit numbers. So you increase the number of digits in your counting and you write here 100. After 99, you have 100. Then you continue counting like 101, 102, 103, follow on, and then here 109. When you keep on counting like this, again you start from 110 and something you go like this. When you reach to 999, then you increase the number of digits in your counting and make it 1000. And then again you continue the counting. Here, how many symbols you have? You have total 10 symbols. And you are using only these 10 symbols to represent all the infinite numbers. Okay? Only these symbols are repeated to represent all the infinite numbers. Of course, there is nothing new in counting, but I just wanted to remind you to how to count, okay? Because that is going to be used in this chapter. Now, coming to other side of discussion, we have few number systems exist in the world, okay? What is the number system? I will tell you. But we have few digital number systems. I will give you the proper definition. Digital number system. We have multiple digital number systems exist. The first type of digital number system is decimal number system. Decimal number system. The decimal number system having only 10 symbols to represent various digits. After that you have octal number system. Octal number systems. Then you have 8 symbols to represent digits. After that you have hexadecimal number system. After that you have hexadecimal number systems and you have 16 symbols to represent digit in the hexadecimal number system, and then after you have binary number system. You have 2 symbols to represent digits. So these are the 4 famous number systems exist in this world. Decimal number system in which you have 10 symbols to represent digit. So whatever is used by the human being are the decimal number system, because you can see here we have 10 symbols to represent the digit. I never seen any language which use other number system than decimal. Decimal means what? Deca. Decimal means deca. Deca means 10. Okay. So don't compare this decimal with decimal dot. The decimal used in fractional numbers is different than what the decimal written here. This decimal is taken from the word deca and deca means 10. That's how a number system in which only 10 symbols are used are called decimal number system. And I have never seen any human speakable language in which a number system exists in which there are number of symbols not equal to 10. Why human always adopted decimal number system in any part of the world? Because I think human beings have 10 fingers. People used to count on their fingers. That's how the decimal number system exists in all over the world. And the decimal number system is very much obvious for us. Okay, we think in the decimal number system. We can never think in the octal number system or hexadecimal number system or binary number system. We can never think in these number systems. So this is the decimal number system. Of course, we are going to learn all these number systems in more detail. Hopefully you know how to count in decimal number system. And we are going to count in octal, in hexadecimal and in binary number systems. Okay, so let's start the formal study of digital number system. So digital number system, the first one we have seen, the first digital number system we have seen is the decimal number system. Number system. Okay. In decimal number system, we have 10 numerals or symbols or symbols. Okay. The decimal number system is also called base 10 number system. The decimal number system is also called base 10 number system. Base 10 number system, or sometimes you can call it radix 10 also, means the base 10 is also called radix 10. The word base used in the number system is also called radix 10 number system. Number system. We already have discussed about the decimal number system. Okay, so let's see other number system, that is called octal number system. Octal number system. In the octal number system, we have only 8 numerals or symbols. So in the octal number system, we have only 8 numerals or symbols. The octal number system is also called base 8 or radix 8. Also called base 8, base 8 or radix 8 number system. Okay. Now let's do a counting in octal number system. We are going to do a counting in octal number system. Okay. How you count in octal number system? Before to that, you must have to find the basic symbols. The basic symbols of octal number system. The basic symbols are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Total 8. Okay, from 0 to 7, total 8. And here you have basic symbols in decimal number system are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So let's do counting in octal number system. Counting in octal number system. Octal number system. The counting rules in the octal number system is same as the counting in decimal number system. That's why I have shown you the counting in decimal number system beforehand. Okay, so let's start the counting. You start with the basic symbols, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So you write like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So when you finished all your basic symbols, then you start repeating the basic symbols and you start writing like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. You notice here in octal number system 10 comes after 7 because there is no symbol called 8 or 9. Therefore after 7 it comes 10, and then you start repeating the various digits followed by 1. Now tell me what will come after 17? After 17 it will come 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 and 27. So whatever you do after encounter 9 in decimal number system, you have to do the same after encounter 7 in the octal number system. Okay, then you continue with 30, keep on doing it. You always have to change this preceding digit after you get the value 7 at the last digit. Okay, so keep on doing it. You reach to 70, then you count 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76 and 77. After 77 you get 100. because after 77 you actually exhausted all your two-digit counts. After 100 you start with 101, 102, 103, and then you keep on counting to 107. After that you write 110. You keep on counting up to 117 and you keep on doing it until you get 771. You keep on counting, you come to the 777, and after reaching to the 777, you actually exhausted all your three-digit numbers in octal number system. So after reaching to the 777, what the number comes is 1000. Hopefully you are getting my points. So this is how you continue your counting. So this was the counting in octal number system. Now let's learn about hexadecimal number system. So after octal number system, we have hexadecimal number system. Number system. Now tell me how many numerals, how many symbols can be used in hexadecimal number system. We have total 16 numerals or symbols used in hexadecimal number system. The hexadecimal number system is also called base 16 or radix 16 number system. Okay. Now the question is, what are the basic symbols used in hexadecimal number system? Basic symbols. What are the basic symbols used in hexadecimal number system? Can you tell me? Yes. Starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But up to 9 we have only 10 symbols. So we need 6 extra symbols. Okay. For that we use A, B, C, D, E, F. Sometimes you can represent these numbers by using capital A, capital B, capital C, or sometimes you can represent these numbers by using a small b, small c. That does not matter. Now the question is how you count in hexadecimal number system. So let's see the counting in hexadecimal number system. You start counting with 0, of course. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. But after 9, you are not done with all the basic symbols. You are not done with all the 16 symbols. You start repeating the digits. First you have to exhaust all the basic symbols you have. And here we have 16 basic symbols. That's how before we go to 10, we have to exhaust all the basic symbols. So after 9, it comes A, B, C, D, E, and then F. So when you reach F, that means you have exhausted all the basic symbols. So after reaching F, next you can do is, you can start counting from 10. Okay? You can start from 10 and then you can write 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now the question is, what will come after 19? Of course, still you are not done with all the countings preceding with 1, starting with 1. That's why what you have to do now is, you have to continue like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. That means when you reach 1F, that means you are done with all the countings starting with 1. So you start your counting with 2 now. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E, 2F. After reaching to 2F, you have to continue the counting from 30, and that's how you will keep on counting. You will keep on counting and you will reach 9, 0. Then you count 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. What comes after 99 is 9A, okay, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, and 9F. So we are done up to the 9F. Okay, and when you reach to the 9F, we have to do the next counting, and we will have to proceed our number with another symbol after 9. What comes after 9? After 9 it comes A. So now we have to continue our counting like A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. You keep on counting like this and you reach to AF. Okay, then you do the same from B0 to BF, from C0 to CF, from D0 to DF, from E0 to EF, from F0 to FF. Okay, after reaching to FF, you actually have exhausted all your two-digit numbers. So you can continue with 100 next. So when the 100 comes in hexadecimal number counting, it comes after FF. So after 100, you have 101, 102, you keep on doing it. And one time, once you will reach FFF. After reaching to FFF, you have exhausted all your three-digit counting. So again, you continue your counting from 1000. So 1000 comes after FFF in hexadecimal number. So hopefully now you know how to count in hexadecimal number. Now let's see another number system called binary number system, and this is the most important number system exists in computer science. So the other number system we have, tell me, binary number system. Binary number system. We have total two symbols, okay, or numerals. So in binary number system, we have two numerals or two symbols, also called base 2, base 2 or radix 2. Basic symbols are 0 and 1. Okay. Now let's count in binary number system. And counting in the binary number system is actually quite interesting. You start the counting with basic symbols. You start with 0, then you go to 1. After going up to 1, actually you have exhausted all your basic symbols. So you start repeating your symbols just after 1, and you go to 10 just after 1. Okay, after 10 it comes 11, and after reaching to 11 you have exhausted all your two-digit numbers. So after 11 you have to go to 100, then you count 101. After 101 you have to do 110, okay, because 1 after 1 it comes 0. So as you can see, all the number systems are following the same rules of counting which we were used to with the decimal number system. But of course, we cannot think in the binary number system. That is not in our DNA. Okay. So after 110 it comes 111, and when you reach to 111, and after reaching 111 you actually have exhausted all your three-digit numbers. After 111 it comes 1000, then 1001, then 1010, then 1011. After that you write 1100, okay, then after you write 1101. So as you can see, we are now repeating everything. That means after exhausting three-digit numbers up to 111, we came to 1000. Then after reaching to 1000, we went to 1001. Okay. Then after 1, it comes 10. therefore it is 1010, and after 10 it comes 11, therefore it is 1011. After 11 it comes 100, therefore it is 1100, and after 100 it comes 101. So this is how we are continuing our counting as we are used to do in the decimal number system. After that you have 1110, then after you have 1111, and after the 1111, tell me what will be the next number. You have actually exhausted all your 4-digit numbers. That's how the next number comes here is 1 after 4 zeros. So that's how you continue counting in the binary number system. Let's see an important aspect of number system. Okay, so here we have the decimal number system. After that we have octal number system, and we will be counting here in the octal number system. After that we have hexadecimal number system, and here in this row we will be counting in hexadecimal number system. Then we have binary number system, and here in this row we will be counting in binary number system. So let's start our counting with 0. In decimal number system 0 is 0, in octal it is 0, in hexadecimal it is 0, in binary it is 0. After 0, here it comes 1, and 1 is 1 in all the number systems. Then after it comes 2. 2 is 2 in decimal, 2 in octal, 2 in hexadecimal, but 1 0 in binary. And notice here that one column is representing the same quantity. Okay, that means the quantity 2 is represented by writing the symbol 2 in decimal. In octal, it is represented by writing the symbol 2. In hexadecimal also, the quantity 2 is represented by writing the symbol 2, but in the binary number system, the quantity 2 is represented by writing 1 followed by 0. After that, you have 3, 3, 3, and 1, 1. Then after you have 4, 4, 4, and 1, 0, 0. So one column is representing the same quantity. Always remember this. 5, 5, 5, and 101. 6, 6, 6, and 110. 7, 7, 7, and 111. 8, and there is no 8 in octal. So what comes after 7? Can you tell me in octal? What comes next in the counting? It comes 10. And you have 8 here, and you have 1 0 0 0 in binary. Then after it comes 9, and in octal it is 11, in hexadecimal it is 9, and here it is 1 0 0 1. Then after in decimal after 9 it comes 10, in octal it comes 12, in hexadecimal it is A. Okay, either you can write capital A or small a. So I am writing capital A. After that in binary you have 1 0 1 0. So see here, all the 4 numbers are different in different number systems, but they are representing the same quantity, the same quantity, the same quantity, that means the quantity 10. Then after you have 11, and here you have 13, here you have B, and here you have 1 0 1 1. After that you have 12, here you have 14, here you have C, here you have 1 1 0 0. After that in decimal you have 13, 13 comes after 12, in octal it comes 15, and here it is D, and here it is 1 1 0 1. After that in decimal you have 14, and in octal you have 16, and in hexadecimal you have E, and in binary you have 1110. After that in decimal you have 15, in octal you have 17, in hexadecimal you have F, and in binary you have 4 ones. So what comes after 15 in decimal? It comes 16. But in octal it is 20. In hexadecimal it is 10. And in binary it is 1 followed by 4 zeros. These four are the same quantities in different number system. So these are the same quantities. After that you have 17, 21, 11 and this one. After that you have 18, 22, 12 and like this. After that you have 19, then 23, then 13, then 1 0 1 1. After that you have 20, here you have 24, here you have 14 and 1 0 1 0 0. So here we stopped our counting, but here you can see that the same quantity can be represented differently in different number systems. So you can take a screenshot, and now let's learn about the positional values in different number systems. Positional values in different number systems. Number systems. So what is the positional value? Let's see it with an example. In any number system, value of a value of a digit depends on the position. Okay, in any number system, value of a digit depends on its position. I will explain it practically, don't worry. So in any number system, value of a digit depends on its position, called positional value of the digit. Okay, called the positional value of the digit. So how it works? Let's start with the decimal number system. Decimal number system. Let's take a number, an example in the decimal number system. Okay, the example is 2512 2512.1971. So let's find the positional values of each digit in the decimal number system. Okay, so let me write these numbers in separate boxes. This is the box, and we have total 8 numbers, and if you include the dot, then we have total 9 numbers. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So right here 2, right here 5, 1 2.1971. This is the value we have, and this is the point. So whatever the values present in the non-fractional part, give them weights. Okay, weights should be in the form of base to the power position. Base to the power position. So we need to give this weight to all the digits in this number according to this formula. The weights will be given according to this formula. So whatever the non-fractional digits we have, provide them weights starting from right to left. Like base is 10, so write 10 to the power 0. Start from 10 and position is 0. Its position is 0 with respect to decimal. Okay, so you can say position with respect to decimal point. Okay, so this 2 is at position number 0 with respect to the decimal point. So its weight will be 10 to the power 0. The weight of this digit will be 10 to the power 1. The weight of this digit will be 10 to the power 2. The weight of this digit will be 10 to the power 3. And for the fractional part of the number, you start giving weight from here and you give it at 10 to the power minus 1. You start your weights from minus 1. Then you do 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 3, 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, so these are called weights or called positional values. Okay, these are the positional values or called weights. Idea here is that when you multiply the digit with the corresponding positional value or corresponding weight, you will get the same decimal number as the output. Okay, you will always get the decimal number in the output if you multiply a digit with its positional value. So what to do here? 2 multiplied by 10q. 2 has the positional value 10q. That's why 2 should be multiplied by 10q, plus 5 should be multiplied by 10 square. As you can see, 1 should be multiplied with 10 to the power 1, 2 should be multiplied with 10 to the power 0. Then ignore the dot, just ignore it. Write plus, then 1 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 1 plus 9 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 2 plus 7 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3 plus 1 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 4. When you multiply and add these numbers, you will get the same decimal number, 2512.1971. This is what you will get. Okay. So this is all about the positional values in decimal number system. Now let's see the concept of positional values in binary number system. Binary number system. Let's take an example, as we always talk in the terms of example. So it will be 1 0 1 0 dot 0 1 0 1. So again, there are total 9 symbols we have, 8 digits and 1 is the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now you write 1, 0, 1, 0 dot 0, 1, 0, 1. Now give them the weights. In the same way, we have given the weights to the various digits in the decimal number system. Now give the weights to the various digits of the binary number system. And second thing is that one digit in the binary number system is either called a binary digit or a bit. Bit is the more proper word for one digit in the binary number system. So you give the different weights like 2 to the power 0. Of course, we have to give the weights to the non-fractional part of the number starting from right to left, and we have to start from 2 to the power 0. 2 is the base and 0 is the position with respect to the decimal point. So 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2 and 2 to the power 3. After that you have 2 to the power minus 1, 2 to the power minus 2, 2 to the power minus 3 and 2 to the power minus 4. So this is how we have given various weights to the various bits or various binary digits of the binary number. These are called positional values or weights. Positional values or weights. The idea here is that when you multiply each bit with its positional values and add them together, you will get its corresponding decimal as output. Okay, what I mean here is, if you write here 1 into 2q plus 0 into 2 square plus 1 into 2 to the power 1 plus 0 into 2 to the power 0 plus 0 into 2 to the power minus 1, do not bother about this decimal sign. This has no effect here. 1 multiplied by 2 to the power minus 2, 0 multiplied by 2 to the power minus 3 plus 1 multiplied by 2 to the power minus 4. If you do like this, and if you multiply all of them and add all of them, then you will get something like this: 8 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0.25. Okay, 1 by 4 is 0.25 plus 0 plus 0.0625. Okay, and which is equal to 10.3125 in decimal. When you have to specify a number in decimal, then you enclose it in the bracket and write 10 after it. And when you have to specify that a number is in binary, then you just write that number in the bracket dot 0101 and put the binary symbol, that is 2 here, is equal to 10.3125 10. So the same quantity represented like this in the binary number, and the same quantity is represented like this in the decimal number. Okay, so hopefully you are getting my points. And this is also the process to convert a binary number to the decimal number. Now let's coming to the octal number system, that is the base 8 system. Okay, and let's take an example. The example is 3721.2406. Okay, again we have total 9 different octal digits. Each digit in the octal number system is called a octal digit. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. We have 3, 7, 2, 1 dot 2406. Again, provide them weights. How you will provide them weights? Starting from base to the power 0 to base to the power whatever in the non-fractional part, and starting from base to the power 1 to base to the power whatever in the fractional part. So starting from base to the power 0, 8 to the power 0, 8 to the power 1, 8 square, 8q, and here you have 8 to the power minus 1, 8 to the power minus 2, 8 to the power minus 3, and 8 to the power minus 4. Okay, these are called positional values or weights. Positional values or weights. So when you multiply the various digits by their positional values, you will get the corresponding decimal number. So this number is given in octal number. That's how you can enclose this number in the bracket and write 8 as the subscript. So let's multiply all the digits of this number with their positional values and add them. Plus 2 into 8 to the power minus 1 plus 4 into 8 to the power minus 2 plus 0 into 8 to the power minus 3 plus 6 into 8 to the power minus 4. That will come like 1536 plus 448 plus 16 plus 1 plus 0.25 plus 0.0625 plus 0 plus 0.001464. When you add them, you will get 2001.313964 in decimal. So you can say that the number 3721.2406 in octal is same as 2001.313964 in decimal. Okay, these two numbers in different number systems, one in octal and other one is decimal, are representing the same quantity. Okay, so hopefully you are getting my points, and let's do the same exercise for the hexadecimal number system. Suppose that your hexadecimal number system has various hexadecimal digits having like A12B dot C11F, something like this. So how you will assign the various weights to all the hexadecimal digits? Okay, the various digits in the hexadecimal number is called hexadecimal digits. So how you will assign the various weights to the various hexadecimal digits? You will assign them like 16 to the power 0 base to the power position with respect to the decimal point. So 16 to the power 0, 16 to the power 1, 16 to the power 2, 16 to the power 3. Then after you have, tell me what? 16 to the power minus 1, 16 to the power minus 2, 16 to the power minus 3, and at last 16 to the power minus 4. So if you multiply the hexadecimal digits with corresponding weights, you will get the number in decimal. Okay, so here you will get a multiplied by 16 to the power 3 plus 1 multiplied by 16 square plus 2 multiplied by 16 to the power 1 plus c multiplied by 16 to the power minus 1, ignore the fractional point, plus 1 multiplied by 16 to the power minus 2 plus 1 multiplied by 16 to the power minus 1 plus f multiplied by 16 to the power minus 4, and here it should be minus 3, not minus 1. This should be minus 3. So what you have to do here is you have to treat A as 10, you have to treat C as 12, you have to treat F as 15, and that's how you can treat all the A, B, C, D, and E of hexadecimal, multiply them with the corresponding numbers to get the final decimal number. Here I have written abc.xyz in decimal because I do not want to calculate this number. Okay, so of course this will not be abc.xyz. So this will be a general decimal number, but since I have not calculated it, that's why I have written abc.xyz. In decimal is equal to a12b.c11f in hexadecimal. So hopefully you are getting my points, and now let's convert a quantity in one number system into quantity in other number system. Now let's start doing it. Now let's convert a quantity given in one number system to the same quantity in another number system. For that we use the number conversions. We are all set to learn number conversions. Number conversions. In the number conversion, the first one is decimal to binary conversion. Decimal to binary conversion. Let's see the decimal to binary conversion by an example. Convert 5 in binary. Convert 5 in binary. What you have to do here is you have to divide 5 by 2. Okay? Divide 5 by 2 and write your quotient over here. So 2 2s are 4. 2 is the quotient. Okay, and what the remainder you will get, can you tell me? The remainder you will get is 1. 2 to the 4 and 1 will be remainder. Hopefully you know how to divide a number by another. Like if you divide 5 by 2, then you will have something like this: 2 to the 4, and this is the remainder. This is the divisor, this is the dividend, this is the quotient, and this is the remainder. Tell me what you have to do now next. Again you divide 2 by 2. You can divide 2 by 2 by using 1 as its quotient, and you will get 0 as its remainder. Okay. After that again you divide 1 by 2. If you divide 1 by 2, then you will get 0 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. So you take the remainders from bottom to top, and that will be binary of your number. That means the 5 in decimal is equal to 101 in binary. So hopefully you are getting my points. This method method of decimal to binary conversion, decimal to binary conversion is called repeated division method. Now let's see the another example. Convert 11 in decimal to binary. Writing here 10 in the subscripts confirms that the 11 is written as decimal. Otherwise, if I write here 2, then this quantity will become 3 in number. Okay, but since I am writing here 10, that's how this quantity is 11 in number. So let's convert 11 into binary by using repeated division method. You divide the number by 2, divide the number by 2. What you will get as the quotient is 5. 2 5s are 10 and you will get 1 as the remainder. Again you divide 5 by 2, you will get 2 as the quotient and you will get 1 as the remainder. Okay, then again you divide the latest quotient. You always have to divide the latest quotient. When you divide the latest quotient 2 by 2, you will get 1 as the result and you will get 0 as the remainder. Then when you divide 1 1 by 2, then you will get 0 as the quotient and you will get 1 as the remainder. Hopefully you know what happens when you divide 1 by 2. You cannot divide 1 by 2, that's why you divide it by 0 and you write here 0 and you get 1 as the remainder, 0 is the quotient, 1 is the dividend and 2 is the divisor. Therefore, binary of 11 will be when you take all these remainders from bottom to top, that will be the binary of 11. So you can write here 11 in decimal is equal to 1011 in binary. Okay, let's see another example. The another example is we have to divide, we have to find binary of 42. Convert 43, let's say it 43. Convert 43 in binary. We have to convert 43 to binary. Now tell me how we can do this. Just do the repeated division method. 43 divided by 2, and if you divide 43 by 2, you will get 21 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. Then again you divide the latest quotient by 2, you will get 10 as the quotient and 1 will be remainder. Then again you divide 10 by 2, you will get 5 as the quotient and 0 will be remainder. Then you divide 5 by 2, you will get 2 as the quotient and 1 will be remainder. Then you divide 2 by 2, then you will get 1 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. When you divide 1 by 2, you will get 0 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. So you have to take the remainders from bottom to top and remember that these are the remainders. These are the remainders. Remainders. Okay, these are the remainders. Therefore, you can say that 43 in decimal is equal to, take from bottom to top, 101011 in binary. Both are representing the same quantities. 43 in decimal is representing the same quantity as 101011 in binary. Let's see another example. Divide 200 in decimal to binary. More examples you practice, more clear you will be. So divide, convert 200 in decimal to binary. how we will do this? Let's start with the repeated division method. 200 divided by 2, and what the quotient you will get the quotient as 100, and here the remainder will be 0. Again you divide the latest quotient by 2 and you will get 50 as your quotient and 0 as the remainder. When you divide 50 by 2, you will get 25 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. When you divide 25 by 2, you will get 12 as the quotient and you will get 0 as the remainder. When you divide 12 by 2, you will get 6 as the quotient and you will get 0 as the remainder. And I'm sorry, here you will get 1 as the remainder. 1 as the remainder because 12 to the 24 and you have 1 remaining. Now, when you divide 6 by 2, you will get 3 as the quotient and 0 will be remainder. When you divide 3 by 2, you will get, tell me what? You will get 1 as the quotient and you will get 1 as the remainder. Then when you divide 2 by 1, you will get 0 as the quotient and you will get 1 as the remainder. Okay. Now take all these remainders from top to bottom and those will be the binary of 200. So 200 in decimal is equal to 11001000 in binary. Now let's take another question. Just another question. Hopefully I will able to finish in this small area. So at this time, what you have to convert in binary is 85, which is given in decimal. So how you will do? Tell me. You divide 85 by 2 and right here 2 4 ja 8, 2 2 ja 4, 42 and you will get 1 as the remainder. Then you divide the 42 by 2 and you will get 21 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. Then you again divide 21 by 2 and you will get 10 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. Again you divide 10 by 2, you will get 5 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. Again you divide 5 by 2, you will get 2 as the quotient and you will get 1 a remainder. Okay. After that, when you divide 2 by 2, you will get 1 as the quotient and you will get 0 as the remainder. Let me write here one remainder in the red color so that you can easily distinguish. Now divide 2 by 1 and you will get 1 as the remainder and 0 as the quotient. Okay? So you have to keep on dividing the number until you find the 0 quotient, and this is what the repeated division is. This is what we are doing in all the examples. So how you have to take these remainders is from bottom to top. So 85 in decimal is equal to 10100101 in binary. So these were few examples of decimal to binary conversion, but still we are missing something. We have not converted a fractional decimal number into the binary number. So let's do it. Let's convert the fractional decimal number into the binary number. The next question is convert 4.8125 decimal number. Of course, this is in the decimal number, no need to write. So convert 4.8125 in decimal number to binary. This is the question. So what you have to do is you just take the fractional part and non-fractional part in separate. Okay, so 4 is the non-fractional part and 0.8125 is the fractional part. Now what you have to do, convert the non-fractional part by using repeated division. So you have the non-fractional part 4, divide the 4 by 2 and here you get 2 as the quotient and you get 0 as your remainder. Again you divide the latest quotient by 2, you get 1 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. Again you divide the latest quotient, that is 1, by 2, you get 0 as the quotient and you get 1 as the remainder. Since you got 0 as the quotient, that's how you stop the division and take the remainders from bottom to top. That will be the binary equivalent of 4. So the binary equivalent of 4 is 1, 0, 0. Okay. Now let's convert the fractional part now. Fractional part can be converted to binary part by using repeated multiplication, not repeated division, by repeated multiplication. So let's convert the fractional part into decimal by using the repeated multiplication. Here you have to keep on multiplying the number by 2. So 0.8125 multiplied by 2, you will get 1.625. Okay, let me write 1 in the left side of decimal point in the red. So take this red out, 1, because after multiplying we got 1 as the non-fractional part. That's how we have taken 1 as our a kind of output. Okay, take the remaining numbers in the fractional part to the next step and multiply it again by 2. So 0.625 multiplied by 2 is equal to 1.250. Okay, so let me write it as 1, 1 and 1. Whatever the non-fractional part you are getting after multiplication, just take that non-fractional part as the result. Next, what you have to do, you have to multiply the remaining fractional part by 2 and you will get 0.5. So write the non-fractional part by using red color and write here 5. So we got 0.5 as the result of multiplication. The non-fractional part is 0, so write here 0 as your kind of result. Then again you multiply the remaining fractional part, that is 0.5 multiplied by 2 and here you got 1.0. Of course the non-fractional part here is 1, so write the 1 in red color and that will be a kind of output for you. Your remaining fractional part is now 0. Okay, since your remaining fractional part is 0, so stop multiplication. Okay, when remaining fractional part is 0, then stop multiplication. Then stop multiplication. When remaining fractional part is 0, then only you stop multiplication. Therefore, the decimal equivalent of 0.8125 is you take all the binary numbers from top to bottom. Okay, therefore 4.8125 in decimal is equal to 100.1101 in binary. So this is what the result you have, and hopefully you got all the process of decimal to binary conversion. Now let's see one more method of decimal to binary conversion. You have to convert 5 in decimal in 8-bit binary. Okay, here the number of bits are fixed. That in how many binary bits you have to convert 5. How many binary bits you have? 8 bits. So take the position for 8 bits. Then assign them weights. Assign them weights from right to left. Like 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1. These are the weights you are assigning. We already have seen it while learning the positional values. So this is the same weights which we have used in the positional values. So 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 6 and 2 to the power 7. Now the question is what you have to convert? You have to convert 5. Now start with the most significant bit. This is called the most significant bit. Let's understand about the most significant bit and most significant digit. Then we will come to this topic. Okay, suppose that you have this number 567.89. So this number is in decimal. Okay, I am talking about decimal. Now tell me, changing which digit will change this number to maximum? This digit. If you change 5 to 6, your number will be increased by 100. So, and if you change 5 to 4, your number will be decreased by 100. So this is the most significant bit. Okay, and this is the least significant bit. Least significant bit. That means if you change 9 to 8, you will be changing your number just by 0.01. Sorry, this one is called most significant digit because you are talking in the terms of decimal. You cannot write here bits. When you talk about the decimal, you cannot write here bits. And this is the least significant digit. The most significant digit is also called MST, and the least significant digit is also called LST. Similar is the case with other number systems. For example, 111.11. This is in binary. This bit, if you change this bit, you will be changing your number by maximum amount. So this is called most significant bit, that is MSB. And if you change this number, you will be changing your number by least amount. That's why this is called least significant bit, that is LSB. Okay, so when you talk about the binary, you say it most significant bit and least significant bit, and when you talk about the decimal, you say it most significant digit and least significant digit. So now coming to the point, what you have to convert? You have to convert the decimal 5 in binary 5. Okay, so here is your 5. Can you include 128 in your binary? Because 2 to the power 7 is 128. Okay, can you include that? No, you cannot include that. Okay, and that's how put here 0. What you can include or what you cannot include, that should be checked from left to right. Means from most significant bit to the least significant bit size. Okay, the weights should be given from right to left, but when you have to check that you can include a bit or not, that should be checked from left to right. 2 to the power 6 is what? Tell me. 2 to the power 6 is 64. Can you include that in your binary, the 64? No. You have to convert only 5 in binary. So 64 is 0. Okay, 2 to the power 6 is 0. Can you include 2 to the power 5? No. 32 is way more than 5. So write here 0. 2 to the power 4. 2 to the power 4 is 16. Still 16 is bigger than 5. So write here 0. 2 to the power 3 is 8. Still 8 is bigger than 5. So write here 0. 2 to the power 2 is 4. Since 4 is smaller than 5, so you can write here 1. But you should also subtract 4 from 5 and you will get 1. After that you calculate 2 to the power 1. that is 0. Okay, because here is only 1 remaining and 2 to the power 1 is 2. You cannot include 2 because 2 is more than 1. Okay, now you have 2 to the power 0. 2 to the power 0 is 1. And of course, you can include 2 to the power 0 because 1 is equal to 1. So this one. Therefore, 5 in decimal has this 8-bit binary. Okay, therefore you can say that 5 in decimal has 0000101. I think one more 0 should be here. Yes, in binary, 8-bit binary. So we are fixing the number of bits for the binary representation of a decimal. But here, as you can see, the most significant one appears at the third position from right. So you cannot write 5 in a binary who has number of bits is less than 3. Okay, you cannot write the binary of 5 in only 2 bits. You cannot do that. Hopefully you are getting my points. Now let's convert the 43 in 8-bit binary. You have to convert 43 in 8-bit binary. For that, what you have to do is first allocate the 8 bits. You have allocated the 8 bits, then provide them weights from right to left. 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 5, 6 and 2 to the power 7. Then what you have to convert? You have to convert 43. Can I include 128 in our binary? No, 128 is more than 43, so you cannot include. Can I include 2 to the power 6? That means 64 in binary? No, 64 is more than 43. You cannot include. Can I include 32 in binary? Yes, you can include that because 32 is less than 43. Okay, so you can include 32 in binary, but at the same time you have to subtract the 32 from 43 to get 11. Now, can I include 16 in my binary? No, 16 is more than 11. Okay, so you cannot do. Can I include 8 in binary? Yes, you can include 8 in binary because 8 is less than 11. So, right here 1, subtract that, you got 3. Can I include 2 square? That means 4 in the binary? No, you cannot include because 4 is more than 3. Therefore, write here 0. Can I include 2 to the power 1? That means 2 in the binary? Yes, you can do that because 2 is less than 3. And here you write 1 and here you also got the 1. Can I include 2 to the power 0 in my binary? Yes, you can include because 1 is equal to 1 and when you subtract you will get 0. This is the binary representation of 43. Actually the 8-bit binary representation of the 43. So 43 in 10 is equal to 00101011 in binary. This is the 8-bit representation of 43 in decimal. How many minimum number of bits we require to represent 43 in binary? That will be these 6 bits. Okay, at least 6 bits are required to represent 43 in binary. Just like decimal numbers, the 0 preceding the number does not add any value in the numbers. Like you write 0008, the number will be just 8. The previous 3 zeros does not make any difference in the quantity. Okay. In the similar way, the previous 2 zeros does not make any difference in the quantity, and the number 43 can be represented just by 6 bits. So now we have to convert 200 in 8-bit binary. So allocate 8 bits and provide them weights from right to left. That is 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 6, 2 to the power 7. Okay. Now write here 200. Okay. Of course, try to include the most significant bit in your binary. So 2 to the power 7 is 128. Can I include it? Yes, of course you can include it because 128 is less than 200. You will get 72 as the subtraction result and write here 1. Can I include that 2 to the power 6 means 64 in the binary? Yes, you can do that because 64 is less than 72. Right here 8, right here 1. You have included 2 to the power 6. Can I include 2 to the power 5? That means 32 in my binary? No, 32 is more than 8. You cannot include. Can I include 2 to the power 4? That means 16 in my binary? No, 16 is more than 8. You cannot do. So right here 0. Can I include 2 to the power 3 means 8 in my binary? Yes, you can do that because 8 is equal to 8. The result of 8 minus 8 will be 0 and here you should write 1. Now, since the number remaining is 0, therefore fill the rest of the rightmost bits by zeros. So this is the 8-bit binary representation of 200. So 210 is equal to 11001000 in binary. Again, let's take another example and convert 85 to binary. Take the 8 positions once again. 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, square, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here you have 85. Can I include 2 to the power 7, that means 128 in my binary? No, 128 is more than 85, so I cannot include. Can I include 2 to the power 6, that means 64 in my binary? Yes, we can include 2 to the power 6. You can include the 64. And here the remaining numbers will be 21. Can I include 2 to the power 5? That means 32 in my binary? No, you cannot do. 32 is more than 21. Can I include 2 to the power 4? That means 16 in my binary? Yes, you can do. 16 is less than 21. And you can include it. Now you have remaining number is 5. Can I include 2 to the power 3? That means 8 in my binary? No, you cannot do. Because 8 is more than 5. Can I include 2 square? That is 4 in my binary? Yes, you can do it. 4 is less than 5. So write here 1 and here you got 1 as the remaining number. Can I include 2 to the power 1? That means 2 in my binary? No, 2 is greater than 1. So you cannot include that. Write here 0. Can I include 2 to the power 0? That means 1 in my binary? Yes, you can include. 1 is equal to 1. That's why you can include. Therefore, 85 in 10 is equal to 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 in binary. But what about the fractional number? I will suggest you, when you have to convert fractional numbers to binary number, you should use the repeated multiplication method for the fractional part. That is the best method. That is the best method for the class 11th student right now. Okay. Of course, you can use this position method to calculate binary of the fractional part of a number, but I will not suggest it right now in the class 11th. Always try to convert the fractional decimal number to binary number by using the repeated multiplication by 2. Let's convert from binary to decimal. The binary to decimal conversion is the same process which we have discussed while discussing the positional values. Okay, so let's convert 11011 to decimal in binary to decimal. So this binary to decimal. What you do is just write these numbers 0, 1, 1, give them weights starting from 2 to the power 0 from right to left. 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 4, and then multiply corresponding bits by the weights and add them. That means 1 into 2 to the power 4 plus 1 into 2 to the power 3 plus 0 into 2 square plus 1 into 2 to the power 1 plus 1 into 2 to the power 0 is equal to 16 plus 8 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, and here you got 27 in decimal. So you can say that 11011 in binary is equal to 27 in decimal. They both are representing the same quantities. Let's see another example. 101 10 101. Suppose that if I write here 10, then you should treat this number in decimal. Okay, but since I am writing here 2, so you should treat this number in binary. So how you will convert this number to decimal is provide them various weights 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1. Provide them weights like 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 6 and 2 to the power 7. When you calculate them, like 1 into 2 to the power 7 plus 0 into 2 to the power 6 plus 1 into 2 to the power 5 plus 1 into 2 to the power 4 plus 0 into 2 to the power 3 plus 1 into 2 square plus 0 into 2 to the power 1 plus 1 into 2 to the power 0. When you calculate everything, you will get 181 in decimal. So this one is binary is same as 181 in decimal. Now let's take one more example of binary to decimal conversion. Convert 100.1101 in binary to decimal. Write them 100.1101 and give them weights. Give the weights to the non-fractional part from right to left, like 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1 and 2 to the power 2, and give the weights to the fractional parts from left to right, like 2 to the power minus 1. The weight should start with the minus 1. When you give the weight to the fractional parts, then the weight should start with 2 to the power minus 1. Then write 2 to the power minus 2, 2 to the power minus 3 and 2 to the power minus 4. When you multiply these weights by corresponding bits, then you will get the decimal of the given binary number. So 2 square multiplied by 1 plus 2 to the power 1 multiplied by 0 plus 2 to the power 0 multiplied by 0 plus 2 to the power minus 1 multiplied by 1. Ignore the decimal point here. Plus 2 to the power minus 1 multiplied by 1, 2 to the power minus 3 multiplied by 0 plus 2 to the power minus 4 multiplied by 1. So here you will get 4 plus 0.5, 0 plus 0 plus half plus 1 by 4 plus 0 plus 1 by 60. The result will be 4.8125 in decimal. So this number in decimal is representing the same quantity as this number in binary. The next task is decimal to octal conversion. Decimal to octal conversion. See how you have converted from decimal to binary. You have converted it by using the repeated division method. You can use the same repeated division method to convert decimal to octal. The question is to convert the decimal number 266 to octal. Now, do you remember how you convert a decimal to binary? You do it by using the repeated division method. So here again, we will convert the decimal to octal by using the repeated division method. So this is our decimal number 266. We have to divide it. Okay, we have to divide it. This is 266. We have to divide it by the number 8. Like in binary, we divide the number by 2, but since here we have to convert from decimal to octal, that's why we will divide the number by 8. The number 266 will be divided by 8 with 33 as its quotient, and we will get 2 as the remainder. Okay, then divide the latest quotient by 8 again, and you will get 4 as the quotient, and you will get 1 as the remainder. Again you divide the latest quotient by 8, it will be divided by 0, you will get the quotient at 0 and you will get 4 as the remainder. Then you take all the remainders from bottom to top, and that will be the octal of your decimal. That means 412 in octal is same as 266 in decimal. Okay, so you can write here is 266 in decimal is equal to 412 in octal. Hopefully you are getting this point. Now the next question is octal to decimal conversion. Let's do it. Octal to decimal conversion. How you do binary to decimal conversion? In the same way we will do octal to decimal conversion. Okay, means by multiplying different numbers, different digits by its weight and summing them up. For example, convert 372 in octal to decimal. How you will do it? Any idea? First you define various weights for this number. 372 means the weight will be 8 to the power 0, 8 to the power 1, 8 to the power 2. Okay. Now what you do is you keep on multiplying these digits by the corresponding weights. That means 3 multiplied by 8 square plus 7 multiplied by 8 to the power 1 plus 2 multiplied by 8 to the power 0. Okay, this is how you will get 3 into 64 plus 7 into 8 plus 2 into 1 is equal to 250 in decimal. Okay, that means you can say that 372 in binary is equal to 250 in decimal. Now convert 24.6 in octal. Oh, here I should not write 2 because this number was in octal, and I have to convert it in decimal. So now let's convert 24.6 in octal to decimal. So right here 24.6. 8 to the power minus 1 is the weight of 6. Because this number appears in the fractional part and the weights to the fractional parts are assigned from right to left starting from base to the power minus 1 onwards. Then you assign different weights like 8 to the power 0, 8 to the power 1. Now what you do, you multiply these digits with given weights and add all of them. 2 into 8 to the power 1 plus 4 into 8 to the power 0 plus 6 into 8 to the power minus 1 is equal to 20.75 in decimal. So 24.6 in octal is same as 20.75 in decimal. Decimal to hex, or you can say it hexadecimal. Okay, so decimal to hexadecimal conversion. The question is convert 423 in decimal to hexadecimal. So again, to convert a decimal to hexadecimal, we will use the repeated division. But at this time, the divisor will be 16 because the hexadecimal number is of base 16. So do it. 423 divided by 16 and you will get 26 as the quotient and 7 as the remainder. Then you divide the latest quotient, that is 26 by 16, and you will get 1 as the quotient and 10 as the remainder. But that 10 can be represented as A in the hexadecimal because we have to convert the number in the hexadecimal. So we got A as the remainder. After that, we have to divide the remaining quotient by 16 and we will get 0 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. Now you take all the remainders from bottom to top and that will be your final hexadecimal number. So 423 in decimal is same as 1A7 in hexadecimal. Both are representing the same quantities. Let's take another question of decimal to hexadecimal conversion. At this time we have to convert 214 which is given in 10 to the hexadecimal. How you will able to do it? Divide 16, divide the 214 by 16 to get 13 as the quotient and 6 as the remainder. Okay, then divide the latest quotient, that is 13, by 16 and you will get 0 as the quotient and 13 as the remainder. So 13 means what? 13 means D in hexadecimal. Take all these remainders from bottom to top and you will be getting the corresponding hexadecimal number. That means 214 in 10 is equal to D6 in hexadecimal. The next topic is hexadecimal to decimal conversion. Let's take the first example. 356 in hexadecimal. Just write these numbers 3, 5, 6 and give them weights from right to left. 16 to the power 0, 16 to the power 1 and 16 to the power 2. Then similar to the previous examples, just multiply all the digits by their weights and add them. 3 into 16 square plus 5 into 16 to the power 1 plus 6 into 16 to the power 0, okay, is equal to 768 plus 80 plus 6 is equal to 854. Now let's see the question number 2. The question number 2 is to convert 2AF which is given in the hexadecimal number to the decimal number. So what you do here, write 2AF, assign them weights 16 to the power 0, 16 to the power 1 and 16 to the power 2. Then multiply them. 2 into 16 to the power 2 plus A into 16 to the power 1 plus F into 16 to the power 0. And this is how you will get 512 plus 160 plus 15 is equal to 687 in 10. We have one more question. Let's see it. This is the fractional number in hexadecimal number system. So this is the 56.08 which is in hexadecimal number system, looking like if it is in decimal, but read the base here. The base is 16. That's how this number is the hexadecimal number system. So write these numbers 5, 6, dot 0, 8. Assign all the digits in the non-fractional part starting from 16 to the power 0, 16 to the power 1. Assign all the digits in the fractional parts by the weights starting from 16 to the power minus 1 and 16 to the power minus 2. So that will be 5 into 16 to the power 1 plus 6 into 16 to the power 0 plus 0 into 16 to the power minus 1 plus 8 into 16 to the power minus 2. That will be 86 plus 0.03125. When you add them, you will get 86.03125 as decimal. So this number in decimal is same as this number in hexadecimal. Our next topic is octal to binary conversion. So how to convert octal number into the binary number? Let's take a question. Convert octal number 472 to the binary number, How you will do it? Just write the numbers 4, 7, 2. Represent the numbers into 3-bit binaries. Okay, do you remember how to represent the numbers in 3-bit binary? Let me remind you. You have to convert 4 in 3-bit binary, then assign the weights to these 3 bits, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 0. Can you assign 1 to 2 to the power 2 weight? Yes, you can do that, because 2 to the power 2 is equal to 4 and you have 4. But now you have 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. So assign 0 to rest of the bits, and here you get 3-bit representation of 4. Similarly, the 3-bit representation of 7 is 111 and the 3-bit representation of 2 is 010. Then you write all these bits side by side. That means you write 100, 111, 010. So this is your binary equivalent of this octal. Now let's take another example of octal to binary. At this time you have to convert 5431 in octal to binary. Now tell me how you will do it. You have to write 5, 4, 3, 1 and represent all of them in 3-bit binaries like 10145, 100 for 4, 011 for 3 and 001 for 1, and write all the bits one after another. So that will be 101, 100, 011, 001 in binary. The question is you have to represent 3.1 which is given in octal to binary. So what you do here is write 3.1, write the 3-bit binary of 3, that will be 011, write the 3-bit binary of 1, that will be 001, and write one after another including the decimal point. So write here 011.001 in binary. This is all about octal to binary representation. Okay, so you can say that the octal was actually the short form of the binary. Okay, because you have just expanded all the digits of octal to the binary to get the corresponding binary. Okay, you have just expanded all the digits of the octal into the 3-bit binary to get the corresponding binary. And that's why you can say that octal is just a short form of given binary number. Means instead of writing a long binary number, you can write an octal number, and that can be further expanded into 3 bits per digit to get the actual binary. Now let's see binary to octal conversion. So again, let's start with an example, and here it is 100, 111 and 010. Let's convert it. Let's convert this binary to octal. What you have to do is just write all the numbers, all the binary bits. Start from the least significant side and collect 3 bits together. Means make the groups of 3 bits per group. Okay, you made it. After making the 3-bit groups, you just convert that 3-bit binary into decimal. Here it is 3, here it is 7, and here it is 4. So you have this binary is equivalent to 473 in octal. Let's see another example. 1010 110. This is binary and you have to convert to octal. Okay, so write the binary bits 101, 011 and 0 and group them into 3-bit groups from right to left. Okay, so group this one, and since in the last group it is only accommodating just 1 bit, so add 2 extra zeros before it just to make the group size of 3 bits. Adding extra zeros on the left on the non-fractional part of a number does not matter. That is true for the decimal number also. Means If I have written here 858 and if I write that many 0 in the left, it does not matter. That's why you can write 2 extra 0 here to make the group size of 3 bits. Now convert all the 3-bit binaries into decimal. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 6. Okay, so this number is binary, is equivalent to 126 in octal. We have another example. Let's see one more example of binary to octal conversion. We have one more example of binary to octal conversion, and that one is 10110 dot 0101 binary. How you will convert this number to octal? To do that, just write it 10110 dot 0101. Now group 3 bits of the non-fractional part from right to left. That means one group, another group, add extra 0 to make this group size 3 bits. Again in the fractional part, collect the numbers from left to right to take it in a group. Okay, so in the non-fractional part, collect the number from right to left, and in the fractional part, collect the number into left to right to make a group. And the group size will be 3 bits. Here we have just 1 bit in the group, therefore add 2 extra zeros on the right. Now convert all the numbers to decimal. So here it is 2, here it is 6, here it is 2, and here it is 4. So that will be 26.24 in octal. Next we will see binary to hexadecimal number. Let's convert from a binary number to hexadecimal number. Let's start with the question, and the question is 1010111010 in binary to hexadecimal number So what you have to do here is just write the numbers, just write the binary bits 10101111 010 and group the 4 bits together from right to left. And if the last group does not have the 4 bits, then add 2 extra zeros to make the group size of 4 bits. Now convert these binaries to hexadecimal. 1010 means 10 and 10 means A. 1011 means 11, 11 means B, and this is 2. What I did here is that I have calculated the decimal equivalent of this 4-bit binary, and then I have found various hexadecimal digits. So this in binary is equivalent to 2BA in hexadecimal. The second question you have is to convert 10101110 dot 010111 in binary to hexadecimal. So this is the fractional number in binary which have to convert it into the hexadecimal. So what you do here is just write the numbers 10101110 So what you have to do here is from right to left in the non-fractional part. Again take the group of 4 bits. So first take the rightmost 4 bits, then take the next 4 bits in the non-fractional part of the number. But if you go to the fractional part of the number, then you have to collect 4 bits together from left to right. And if the last group does not contain the 4 bits, then add 2 extra zeros. Means you should add extra zeros to make it 4 bits. We already have did with the octal numbers. There we were creating the groups of 3 bits, and here we are creating the groups of 4 bits. Now find the decimal of the corresponding number. This is 12. 12 means 10, 11, 12. That is ABC. 12 means C. This is 5. This is 14. 14 means 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. A, B, C, D, E. 14 means E. And this is 10. 10 means A. So you can write this number as AE dot 5C in hexadecimal. So you can say that the hexadecimal number is also a short form of binary number. That means the binary number is just an expanded form of the hexadecimal number. Okay, means if you write the content in the binary number, you will need to write more number of characters than writing the same content in the hexadecimal number. Now our next topic is hexadecimal to binary conversion. Hexadecimal to binary conversion. The question is 9F2 16. This number is represented in base 16, that is the hexadecimal number. Convert this number in binary. Okay, we have to convert this number in binary. So what you do here is just write these numbers 9F2 and represent all the hexadecimal digits in 4 binary bits. So you can represent 2 in the 4 binary bits as 0010. You can represent F in the 4 binary bits as 1111. You can represent 9 as the 4 binary bits as 1001. Now you write all these binary bits together like 1001, 1111 and 0010. All the binary bits together to get the final binary output. So this number and this number is representing the same content. Let's see one more example. The other example is 3A6 in hexadecimal. So write 3A and 6, represent them in 4 bits 0110, 1010, and the 3 is 0011, and write the bits one after another. That means 0011, 1010, 0110. So this is the binary representation of same hexadecimal number. Other question is 3BF.5C. 3BF.5C in hexadecimal number. If you write this number 3BF.5C and again you represent all the hexadecimal digits in 4-bit binary, then you will get, what about C? The C is 1100, the 5 is 0101, the F is 411111, the B is 1011, and the 3 is 0011. Now write all the binary bits one after another, that is 0011, 1011, 1111, 0101 and 1100, but you have to put point after F. Okay, so where is, this is the 1111, after that you have 0101, I think this is the 0101, yes. So here you need to put the decimal point. Okay, let me write it with more clarity. So here you need to put the decimal point. So hopefully you are getting my points. Now let's see some other interesting examples of number conversions. The question is, convert 1948.B6 in hexadecimal number to binary and octal equivalent. To binary and octal equivalent. Okay, so first you have to convert this hexadecimal number into the binary and then use that binary to convert the hexadecimal number into the octal. So let's do it. 1948.B6. What is 6? Tell me. 0 1 1 0. What is B? Tell me. 1 0 1 1. 1 0 1 1. What is 8? 1 triple 0. What is 4? 0 1 0 0. What is 9? 1 0 0 1. What is 1? 0 0 0 1. Collect all the bits together like 0 0 0 1, 1 0 0 1, 0 1 0 0, 1 triple 0. Then write dot. That means the decimal digit. Okay. Then write 1011 and 0110. But now you have to convert this binary in octal equivalent. So you write this binary as 0001 100 10 100 1000. Hopefully I am writing it correct. Then write dot, then write 1011 0110. Now we have to convert it in octal. So group the bits into 3-bit group of the non-fractional part from right to left, and that's what we are doing here. We have to convert this binary string into octal. See here, the last number has just 1 0. So either you can make the size of this group of 3 bits, or you can discard this 0 at all, because a 0 in the leftmost side of a non-fractional part does not matter. It does not add any weight to the non-fractional part, so you can directly ignore it. Okay, the extra 0. Now take the group of 3 bits in the fractional part from left to right, 1 2 and the third one. To make the group size of 3, you just add 1 0 at right. Okay, now we have ignored it, so we are not going to count this extra 0. 5 1 0 5 5 4. So if you write all these numbers together, then you will get 14510.554 in octal. So this number in the hexadecimal represents the same quantity as this number in the octal. So you can write here that 1948 in hexadecimal is equal to 14510.554 in octal is equal to 000110010001000.101101110 in binary. Okay, so these all three numbers are representing the same quantities. Hopefully you are getting my points. Now let's see the another question. Convert 75643 dot 5704 in octal to binary and hexadecimal, or hexadecimal and binary. Hexadecimal and binary. So first we will convert this number in octal to the binary number, and then that binary number will be further converted into the hexadecimal number. Let's do it. So write this number 75643 dot 5704. Convert all the octal digits into 3-bit binaries: 111, 101, 110, 100, 011, 101, 111, 000, 100. Okay, now write these binaries just one after another: 111, 101, 110, 00, 011 dot because after 011 we have dot, then 101, 111, 000, 100. Okay, this is the binary equivalent of the octal number shown above. Okay, now we have to convert this binary into hexadecimal number. So let's group the bits of the non-fractional parts from right to left in the group size of 4 bits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3. So the last group has only 3 bits, that's why add 1 extra 0 to make the group size of 4 bits. Now group all the bits. Now group the non-fractional parts. Now group the bits of fractional parts from right to left in the group size of 4 bits. So take from right to left 1, 2, 3, 4, one group, 1, 2, 3, 4, second group, 1, 2, 3 and 4, the third group. So here we have 3 groups. Now convert all these 4-bit numbers into decimal. So here it is 3, here it is 10, and 10 in hexadecimal is A. Here it is 11, 11 in hexadecimal is B. Here it is 7. Here it is 11, 11 in hexadecimal is B. Here it is 12, 12 in the hexadecimal is C. And here it is 4. Now you put all the hexadecimal digits together to find the final hexadecimal number. So right here 7BA3 point BC4. 7BA3 point BC4. This is the hexadecimal number. So you can say that this octal is equivalent to this binary, is equivalent to this hexadecimal. So hopefully you are getting my points, and we are done with the number conversion. Congratulations.